All right, so we're working back on the 450 go-kart. I did a kind of a mock test run to see how everything fit together on the chassis I built with the motor, and results were not good. Came up with a couple issues. Kind of figured that though. I mean, it's the nature of building something. It just is what it is. It was a brand new chain. The chain got really loose, which they stretch out. Not a big deal. The big deal on this back end was the motor had so much downward force whenever it would try and take off. It would make this flex. So what I did was I put a brace right here, welded that up to stick these two together to stop them from going side to side. Then I added this brace to strengthen it up to where it doesn't want to pull down, and I'm thinking about probably putting one right here too. I just don't know where I'm going to put it because my shock's kind of in the way, but we'll see. Maybe I'll dismount my shock and then weld it and then put the shock on that. I don't know, but that was trouble that I was having in the rear. I still need to go through and grease everything. It was just like kind of break the motor in and just see how it did. Motor wise, super happy with the motor. The motor did good. Didn't really get to check out the suspension because it didn't go very far. Next problem I had, the clutch. Now, I think this is a two-part problem. I think that part of it is this clutch is just garbage. And then also I think my gearing is off. I got a 14 right here on the clutch, and I want to say it's a 60 down here. But that was the biggest sprocket I could find on Amazon. Otherwise I would just enlarge this sprocket and be done with it, but I still think the clutch would be trash. I mean, it just gets super hot, starts smoking, slipping. You'll finally get going and it'll catch. Now I took the clutch apart, tightened up the spring, kind of made little grits and stuff on the bell housing, and it did improve. It was a lot better, but not exactly what I want out of the final product. So we have an upgrade for this. We're gonna unbox it in a little bit. I see other problems that I had. We're gonna move up here. The steering. This steering was, like, I'll just say unusable is the nicest way to put it, which that was the part that I was most worried about because I had never done it. How do you get it straight? How do you get it aligned? Is it going to have good droop and sag? Like, I just didn't know. Originally, I thought welding a bar from here, upper A-arm to lower A-arm, would fix my issue. That was not a fix. It was just pointing me in the direction of my problem. Because if I did weld a bar right there, then my shocks no longer work. Like, it won't move up and down. It's like just straight, no shocks on the front. So I did away with that. Did some more testing. And this is over like 2 weeks of testing. And I found part of my problem was this. I switched it. It was flipped the other way. Now I put the U-joint facing right here to where now I have immediate steering response with minimal slop. The screw's still loose on it. But with minimal steering slop, I think that'll be good steering wise. Now the other thing I found is that there was a lot of play in this bushing. A lot of people use Heim joints, and I had found these for cheaper, so I used these, and I thought the angle would be better. But I did order some Heim joints, and they didn't come in yet. But whenever they come in, I'll swap it out, test it, see which one's better. I think the Heim joint will allow less play in my tire, which is really what I want. And once I get that, I think my steering will be fixed. Have not bled the rear brake yet. The front brake is pretty much bled. And they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. I still need to bleed them a little bit more, but they're locking up. But I still need a little bit more work on the front brakes, but they're almost there. Other problem I'm having is I extended this kart right here 7 inches, and I thought that would be enough, but on my other kart, my pedals are way up here, like up against there. And on this one, I couldn't put my pedals there because of the steering rack and the brake piston, and I needed more room, so I had to slide everything forward. Now the frame is too short, which is a bummer, because now I'm going to have to cut all of that apart and extend it. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to do it later on before it's done. But I don't have a long enough throttle cable, and I still want to test the other parts that I can test. So I'll need to get a longer throttle cable, and then whenever I get that, I'll cut the frame apart and I'll extend it even more. But just running into problem after problem. I mean, we're getting them knocked out and kind of figured out. It's just, it is, I'm not gonna lie, it is very frustrating running into a problem and not knowing what to do. I was talking to people about the clutch problem I was having, and they kind of advised me a little more on what to do about my clutch, and thank you so much for the advice. I think it was, I'm so bad with names, it was like JW something. He makes some go-kart videos, and he was actually an inspiration for this motor. He put it on his kart, and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like so much fun. Electric start, all that, plenty of torque, I'm going with it. I did my setup pretty different from his, but yeah. Let's get to work. Let's unbox the box I got and start getting all that together. And thank y'all so much for the people that are subbing, watching, liking, commenting. Dude, it means the world to me. Again, I know I've said it before. Dude, it's awesome. I mean, doing stuff like this when you hit a rock wall is so hard. And then just talking to people who have kind of done it, had similar experiences, man, it just changes it. It just makes the experience so much better, because otherwise I would be stuck out here trying to figure all this stuff out on my own, and I honestly don't know if I could do it without everyone's help. But that's what's so amazing about the community that is YouTube. Thank y'all.